Hey, it's your girl, Ice Gem, and in this video I'm going to talk about the effects of heat on my undiagnosed, uncontrolled seizures. So I'm in the UK, we've had a lot of heat waves this year, no aircon, as you can't buy it anywhere, it's completely out of stock and nothing's air conditioned, not buses, not waiting rooms in doctor's surgeries. But where the people are working, there is not the bus drivers, mind you. They're in a little plastic thing, and that's absolutely abhorrent, actually, what they're doing to bus drivers, because the buses get about 10 degrees hotter than outside, and we've had highs up to 37 in some places recently. But I'm quite a high-risk person at the moment, so we've had amber and red heatwave warnings, but I can't go outside and I get ill at the yellow stage of a heat warning because I have uncontrolled seizures and I have multiple seizures every day. There's other videos about my seizures that you can check out that go more in depth with that. I'm going to specifically talk about the heat wave and how that interacts with this. I also recently had heat exhaustion, which escalated to heat stroke, and I'm going to tell you about that as well. So, about 24 centigrade, my seizures will increase, and I have clusters of seizures, and I have a lot a day. A lot. It's better now. I'm medicated. At the time of filming this, I'm on 100 milligrams lamotrigine at night and 50 in the morning. So it's been a really long process getting titrated up. They're not controlled. I'm still having multiple a day, but they are better than they were. But once I hit 24 centigrade, I just have non-stop seizures. To be honest with you, I don't know how many because I lose track of time, of how many seizures I've had, all of that. I can't really track any of that. I live alone. So I went out for an appointment and it wasn't 24, it was 20, oh no, it was 25 out. And it didn't get to 25 until the journey home. But I was struggling before that because the waiting room at this appointment is so hot. Now this place, the waiting room and public area is no air conditioning. The staff area is air conditioning. And they've put more in since this happened, because the last time I went there, there's air conditioning everywhere in the staff places, whereas before it was just in the room where the psychologist was. So I started to get unwell. On the bus I was quite hot, like it can be up to 10 degrees hotter on the buses here. I can't remember if I had seizures or not on the bus. I have a lot of seizures on the bus. I know how to I can feel it when they're coming on, and I know I sit somewhere where I can push myself in between the chair and the window. So I don't injure my head or anything, because that's a big concern for me at the moment, injuring my head. And then the journey home, it got up to 25, and I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to bring a thermometer onto the bus and actually see. When it's over 30, it's 10 degrees hot. I don't know what it's like when it's in mid to high 20s. I haven't found any information on that. But the bus journey home was horrific. I was cramping all over my body, my legs, my abdomen here, like cramps all over. The leg cramps were so bad, it was like affecting my walking when I got back. I do get cramps. That's part of my chronic illnesses. But the heat obviously made me cramp. And then I got home and I realised, oh, I've got heat exhaustion, I've got heat illness. The problem was there's no aircon at home, and I didn't have any fans even, because I lost all my stuff when I moved here recently to mould damage, and I had to throw all my fans away because obviously the mould spots. There's a few videos about the mould story and all of that. That's still ongoing, but yeah, there's updates about that quite regularly. So I just rested and had water. That's all I could do. I had the window open and I didn't realise I should be shutting and covering the windows, trapping the cool air at night. But after this happened, well, I was ill. I had the heat exhaustion after this, and I still had the windows open but the shades down. all day and all night, but obviously it was accumulating, and the buildings radiate heat, and there's no trees where I am. It's all just like road. They haven't designed it at all for heat. The buildings are designed to keep heat in here, so it's really hard to cool the building down, even with the cool box in it and cooling it all night. I'm on a ground floor flat, by the way, so I have to stay awake all night to do that because of security reasons. I live on 2 main streets. It would only get like maybe 4 or 5 degrees above the outside temperature. So say it was 20 degrees at night, do you know what I mean? Get down to like 24, but I did notice like over the days, the more I was doing it, it was getting better. I had the heat exhaustion, I got it on the Friday afternoon, and I couldn't get rid of it. I passed out in the afternoon when I got back, just from the heat. I was still sweating at that point. My sweating was working really well. I was sweating and I just passed out because I was just really ill. I had some water, I just passed out. And when I woke up, I think, it was the next morning when I woke up. I managed to have like a cold shower, but I still couldn't cool down. Still didn't have any fans. And it was hot nights, hot days for about 2 weeks. Like I say, these were red warning and red and amber days, and I get ill at yellow. So I was ill. And then it went on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, every day, heat exhaustion. I couldn't get rid of it. I could not get rid of it. I was doing cold showers. I just could not get rid of it. After 3 days, I managed to get some money because there's no fans. Not only is there no aircon, there's no fans. The aircon's out of stock, the fans are out of stock. So I couldn't buy fans. How's that possible? How's that possible? It's all a bit odd, these things that have suddenly disappeared. Like most people have got fans. Why would all the fans go out of stock? Anyway, I'll leave that to your imagination. Let's not get into that. Let's try and just keep it linear. So all of a sudden, on Deliveroo, a stationery shop restocked with fans one morning. I was checking every day, websites, Deliveroo, all sorts, just trying to, and I see it. So I ordered it. As soon as that shop opened that morning, I got 2 fans. So I had the fans. That's all I can do. It's the fans, So where are we now? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think that was the Monday. Now, on the Wednesday is when it got up to 32 degrees. And I had heat exhaustion all the way through to that day. I could not get rid of it. Cold showers, ice waters, ice packs. I had the fans, ice bottles in front of the fans. I could not get rid of it. But I still didn't know about cool boxing and trapping it in the cool air from the night. Not until the Wednesday. Now we hit the high period of heat on the Wednesday. I had the windows open, stupidly. And it escalated. I started getting heart palpitations, I stopped sweating, I started shivering like it was cold. It wasn't cold. Yeah, it got really bad, and I knew I had to go to the hospital because every time I tried to have like a cold shower, it didn't matter how slowly I went from warm to cool, I was shivering, and bearing in mind I'm having seizures non-stop during this time, and that heats your body up as well. So I was realising that I need medical intervention because, and I'm going to say this, if you get heat exhaustion, just go to the hospital. If you can, go to the hospital, get checked, because this escalated very quickly when it did, It escalated very quickly. Although I had heat exhaustion for a long time, it just flipped like that. I stopped sweating, my heart was palpitating, And I was just laying there. I passed out, then I was doing the cold shower stuff, and I started researching, learned about like blocking out the light, blocking out the sun, closing everything, cooling it at night. That's when I started that regimen. Then I started staying awake all night. I was doing the cool showers, but I was just shivering. And I knew I had to go to hospital. The problem is, I was so ill, the last thing I wanted to do is go out in the beating sun into an ambulance that ain't air conditioned, to a hospital that ain't air conditioning, to a waiting room that, I'm not being funny, I had all them cramps and loads of seizures when I was in it. before the heat wave in May. You know, it was that hot in there. It's the last place I want to go. I didn't want to go. I live alone. I started panicking. I thought, this is it. This is the end. You know, I felt like I was dying. I was genuinely scared. Genuinely scared. So yeah, I've basically felt trapped. You know, having seizures as well and all of that. I managed to, with the regimens of ice packs, obviously the fans, the frozen water bottle in front of the fan. Is it me or does that do nothing? Comment if you've had that actually help, the frozen water bottle in front of the fan, because I don't feel like it does anything. If anything, it just increases the humidity. Like I've got a humidity thing, and humidity makes it feel 3 degrees centigrade warmer. It's not helping. By this point I couldn't sweat anyway. Sweating had long stopped. It has started to come back now, the sweating. We've had a week of cooler weather, so thank God for that. But I've completely broke all my thermal regulation. Despite it being really hot, I was shivering like it was cold. But I did manage to slowly, with the showers, the fans, and using the blanket, like on and off parts of my body. I bought liquid IV, sugar-free liquid IV, electrolytes. That's a big game changer because the seizures mess up my electrolytes anyway. So I should be using it anyway. Since I've been using it, my cramps have been a lot better. But one of the medications I'm on is helping my cramps. The seizure relief medication is helping my cramps and my foot drop, which is making me think that it's related to the seizures. Anyway, that's something that will unfold in the future, hopefully. Eventually, after, I don't know, 3 or 4 days of this regimen, ice packs, fan, cold water, electrolytes, ice showers, the blanket on and off, I did manage to, like, cool myself without shivering eventually. I did manage to fix it. I would not ever recommend doing that. Don't do that. As soon as you get the heat exhaustion, go to the hospital. If you're able. Unfortunately, the sad reality is not everyone's able. The idea of getting in the ambulance and everything. And the thing is, if I went at night, like I said, I live in a ground floor flat, everything would have had to been closed. Wouldn't have been able to cool it, and they'd have discharged me into a boiling hot flat. There was no end in sight of this heat wave. It wasn't as high as the Friday was. That was the thing. It started on the Wednesday, then the temperature got even higher on the Friday, which is probably why I was ill for 3 or 4 days. But it was high. It was like 28s, 29s, you know? The lowest it got was 27. It was only getting 20 degrees centigrade at night. Yeah, so just to say, uncontrolled seizures and heat waves, I was really, really vulnerable and really at risk, and I'm young. And I imagine there's a lot of other people with a lot of other health conditions that live alone, they're trapped at home, they've got a health condition or medications, actually. There's a lot of medications, which makes them, you know, much more vulnerable to the heat, and it's scary. Like, I don't want to be one of these thousands of people that have died. Thank God I wasn't. Thank God I wasn't. And that's, you know, by the grace of God at the end of the day. I don't know how. Sorry, there's something on the camera. Yeah, so that's my story with the heat. I've had heat exhaustion a few times since then. I seem to keep getting it, but I do still shiver when it happens for some reason. But I am starting to sweat again, not properly, but slowly that is coming back. So that's good. But I'm really sensitive to the heat now. Like, for example, I was out today and it was 21 degrees. First time I've been out in about a month. And I got heat exhaustion today. I was able to fix it, luckily, because it's cool tonight, and I've got the electrolytes. That makes a massive difference, an absolute massive difference. And I've got the fans, you know. Yeah, I'm just happy to be alive. So, has anyone else had experience with heat illness of any type? We're due to have more hot weather coming. Do you have any health complications that makes this happen to you or makes you more vulnerable? Do you live alone through this? I really want to hear other people's experiences of this. If you got to this point of video, if you could hit like, that will really help the channel out. And if you want to hear more of my videos, there's a lot of health related stuff on my channel. Please subscribe and make sure you click the bell so that you can see when I upload and you won't miss the videos. Thanks so much for watching. Peace be with you today. Bye.